Good afternoon, students. Welcome to section 6.4, composition of functions. So the learning target for today, I can simplify composite functions, and also I can evaluate composite functions. So example number 1 is done for you over here, okay? And we have to find f of g of x. Okay, be careful and look or hear how I read this. Okay, I read this f of g of x. For example, in algebra class, in algebra 1, you were exposed to the function notation f of x. That doesn't mean f times x, okay? Because many times, if you see parentheses, you think it's multiplication. How do you read this? F of x. F of x. So in this case, I will read this, f of g of x. Now, example number 1 is done for you, so I will not repeat this. But let's take a look and solve example number 2. Okay, so example number 2, I want to find g of f of x. So in example number 2, I would like to find g of f of x. Now, if I asked you this question, okay, evaluate g of 3, okay, all you would do, use this function, and you would do 2 times 3. But now I am trying to ask you, what is g of f of x? Okay, so what is g of f of x? So in this case, I have g of f of x. So if you look at the top, okay, function g is x plus 3. So if you look at the function, g of x is x plus 3. But now, instead of this x, I will put f of x. I will replace this with f of x. Okay, but what is f of x? F of x is equal to 4x plus 3. So instead of this x, I will write 4x plus 3, and this 3, you just bring it down. Okay, so again, look what I did. Instead of x, I wrote 4x plus 3, which is our f of x. And now, if you simplify this, you will get 4x plus 6. Okay, so the final answer is 4x plus 6. Now, practice. Given f of x equals x plus 1 and g of x is equal to 2x. Example number 1, find f of g of x. So now, the outside function is f of x, okay? And inside of x, I will put g of x, which is 2x. This sounds confusing, but basically, you are substituting function where you see x, or in other words, where you see input. So here, let's think about f of x, okay? F of x is equal to x plus 1, okay? But here, for this x, you want to replace this with g of x, okay? And g of x is equal to 2x. So in other words, I will substitute 2x where you see x, and then plus 1, and that is your final answer. So the final answer is 2x plus 1. Okay, please take a minute or two, try example number 2, and then we'll do it together. So here, I'm asking you to find g of f of x. So the outside function is g, okay? So g of x is equal to 2x. Okay, but now instead of x, I want to put f of x, which is x plus 1. So this will go here. So you will do 2 parentheses x plus 1. Okay, and if you distribute this, you will get 2x plus 2. So your final answer is 2x plus 2, and your final answer over here is 2x plus 1. Okay, the second part of the lesson is a little bit easier, okay? And our example over here is find f of g of 7 when f of x equals 6x minus 2 and g of x is equal to 1 minus x. So if I asked you this question, can you evaluate g of 7? You probably would say, yes, I can do that, and I will use the second function. So how do you do g of 7? You do 1 minus x, which is 1 minus 7, which is negative 6. So g of 7, I can cross it out, and I can put negative 6. So then what I have is, I have f of negative 6, which is here. And I will use this function because f of x is equal to 6x minus 2. So I get 6 times negative 6 minus 2. 6 times negative 6 is negative 36. Minus 2 is equal to negative 38. Okay, let's take a look at example number 2. So our job is to evaluate g of f of 3. So first, we will start with f of 3, okay? And f of 3 will be equal to 6x minus 2, which is 6 times 3 minus 2. And if you simplify this, 6 times 3 is 18, and 18 minus 2 is 16. So in other words, I just found that f of 3 is equal to 16. Okay, so now I can erase this and write 16 over here. So now I have a new function, and now I have g of 16. So how do you evaluate g of 16? Okay, you will use this equation, g of x. So this will be 1 minus 16, and 1 minus 16 is negative 15. So your final answer to this question is equal to negative 15. Okay, so please try example 1. Take a few minutes and please try example number 1. So first question is, do you start with f of negative 2, or do we start with g of negative 2? The answer is we start from inside. So first, I will evaluate f of negative 2. Oh, let me erase this. Okay, so first, I will start with f of negative 2. And if you check the functions on top, f of x is 6x minus 2, so it will be 6 times negative 2 minus 2. 6 minus 2 is negative 12. Negative 12 minus 2 is negative 14. So f of negative 2 is equal to negative 14. In other words, when the input is negative 2, the output is negative 14. Okay? So this input can be replaced with negative 14. Then I have to do g of negative 14. Okay? Check the equation on top of this paper. G of x was equal to 1 minus x. This will be 1 minus negative 14. And we know that opposite of negative is positive, so this becomes 1 plus 14. So the final answer is 15. Okay? So the final answer is g of f of negative 2 is equal to positive 15. And last example for today. Again, let's start with g of 0. We start from inside. So g of 0 would be equal to 1 minus x, which is 1 minus 0, which is equal to 1. So in other words, g of 0 is equal to 1. Okay, so when the input is 0, the output is 1. So I can cross this g of 0 and I can put 1. Now my new function is f of 1. Okay, and f of 1, I will use the f function, which is 6x minus 2. So that will be 6 times 1 minus 2. If you simplify this, 6 times 1 is 6, 6 minus 2 is 4. So the final answer is equal to 4. Okay, thank you for watching this video and have a good day.